Hello everyone, this is Ramachandran, math tutor from Online Math for All. In this video, we are going to see the easy way of learning times tables without memorizing. Okay, let's go to the stuff. Here I have taken 4 times table. Every student can remember the first 9 rows because in the first 9 rows, we multiply a 1-digit number by 1-digit number. That is 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. In this way, we multiply 4 times 9. The 9th row, we get 36. Even students can remember the 10th row and 11th row because in the 10th row 4 is multiplied by 10. Any number can be multiplied by 10 easily and we can get the result. That is 4 times 10 is 40, and also here we can multiply a single digit number by 11 easily. 4 times 11 is 44. So always we'll have trouble from the 12th row. That is what is 4 times 12? What is 4 times 13? What is 4 times 14? Do you have to memorize this? No, we don't have to memorize this. We can do some simple multiplication tricks to get the result for the product like 4 times 12, 4 times 13. Okay, let's see how it can be done. Okay, now to get the product of 4 times 12, what we have is we have to write this 12 as 10 positive 2. Here we have a question. Why do we have to write this 12 as 10 positive 2? Because we can multiply any number by 10 easily. There is 4 times 10 is 40 and 4 times 2 is 8. 40 positive 8 is 48. So 4 times 12 is 48. The same way we can do 4 times 13, 4 times 14, 4 times 15, anything. Okay. And here I have shown the steps over here, but it has to be done in mental math. That is, we have to do all the calculation in our mind without writing anything on a paper. Okay, now let's think about 4 times 13. Okay, here 4 times 13 and 4 times is 13 can be written as 10 positive 3. Now we can distribute this 4 to this 10, 40. 4 times is 12. 40 positive 12 is 52. Okay, now let's do this one using mental math. That is, let's assume this 14 as 10. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 4 is 16. 40 positive 16 is 56. Now let's do 4 times 15. So 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 5 is 20. 40 positive 20 is 60. That's it. Okay, now let's consider some other table. Here I have taken 9 times table. The same thing, everyone can do the first 11 rows. Okay, in the first 9 rows, we multiply a single digit number by single digit number. In the 10th row, we multiply 9 by 10, that is equal to 90. The 11th row, 9 times 11, 910. So we can remember all this stuff easily. Okay, now let's consider the 12th row. That is a product of 9 and 12. That is 9 times 12. The same thing we have to do. That is, we have to assume this 12 as 10. Then 9 times 10 is what? That is 9 times 10 is 90. And 9 times this the digit at ones place, 9 times 2, that is 18. 90 positive 18. What do we get? We get 108. Let's consider 9 times 13. Let's assume this 13 as 10. 9 times 10 is 90. Now let's multiply this 9 and the digit at ones place. 9 times 3 is 27. 90 and 27. Okay, sometimes some students will find it difficult to do addition. Okay, consider 90 and now we have to consider the rounded figure which is very close to 90. That is 100. If I want to make this 90 as 100, how much do I need? I need 10. So take the 10 from this 27. When I take 10 from this 27, it will become 17. So when I add the 10 to this 90, it will become 100. Now we can add easily this 117. That is 117. Therefore, 9 times 13 is 117. Okay, now let's consider 9 times 14. So here we have to assume this 14 as 10. 9 times 10 is 90 and 9 times 4 is 36. Again, the same logic. Just take 10 from this 36 and it will become 26. When we add the 10 to this 90, it will become 100. 100 positive 26 is 126. Okay, now let's consider some other times table which is more than 10. Here I have taken 11 times table. In 11 times table, students can remember the first 10 rows that I'm going to share. That is 11 times 1 is 11, 11 times 2 is 22, 11 times 3 is 33. In this way, 11 times 9 is 99, 11 times 10 is 110. They have trouble from the 11th row. That is 11 times 11. Okay, how do you have to multiply 11 and 11? Here we multiply 2-digit numbers. And also we have 1 at the tens place in the first 2-digit number, 1 at the tens place in the second 2-digit number. So the method I'm going to explain now will work only when we have 1 at the tens place in both the 2-digit numbers. Okay, now let's see how we can multiply this 11 by 11. Let's consider one of the two 2-digit numbers over here. Usually we select the first one. Okay, let me take 11. Now, let's consider the digit at ones place in the second one, that is 1. Now, we have to add this 1 to this 11, that is 11 positive 1 equals to 12. Okay, the next step, what we have to do is, we have to multiply this 12 by 10. When I multiply 12 by 10, I am getting 120. In the next step, we have to multiply the digits at ones places in both the two-digit numbers. That is 1 times 1 is 1. Now we have to add 1 to this 120, then I'm getting 121. So 121 is the result of 11 times 11. Okay, now let me erase the stuff and do the next one. That is 11 times 12. Okay, again we multiply two two-digit numbers. In both the two-digit numbers, we have 1 at the tens place. Okay, let's select one of the two-digit numbers we have over here. Usually we select the first one, that is 11. Okay, now consider the digit at ones place in the second number, that is 2. We have to add this 2 to this 11, then this 11 will become 13. Now we have to multiply this 13 by 10, then it will become 130. Now let's multiply the digits at ones place over here in both the two-digit numbers. That is 1 times 2. That 2 should be added to this 130, then we get 132. So 11 times 12 is 132. Okay, now let me erase the stuff and do the next one. That is 11 times 13. Okay, the same thing. Let's take the first two-digit number. I think we can make a difference over here. Let's select the second one. Okay, 13. Now, take the digit at ones place in the other two-digit number, that is 1. We have to add this 1 to this 13. When I add 1 to this 13, it will become 14. Now we have to multiply this 14 by 10, then it will become 140. Now let's multiply the digits at one places. 1 times 3 is 3. 140 positive 3 equals to 143. Okay, here I got the result. Okay, this time I've selected the second two-digit number. What if I select the first two-digit number? I'll be getting the same result. Anyways, we can do that one too. Okay, let's select the first two-digit number 11. And now consider the digit at ones place in the second two-digit number, that is 3. This 3 should be added to this 11. Okay, 11 positive 3 is 14. When I multiply 14 by 10, I'm getting 140. Now let's multiply the digits at ones places. 1 times 3 is 3. Now we have to add the 3 to this 140. I'm getting 143. Again, I'm getting the same result over here. Okay, now let me consider the next row, that is 11 times 14. Now select the second two-digit number 14. Consider the digit at ones place in the first two-digit number, that is 1. When I add this 1 to this 14, it will become 15. 15 times 10 is 150. Now let's multiply the digits at ones places. 1 times 4. When I add 4 to this 150, I am getting 154. So 11 times 14 is 154. Okay, now let's pick some random multiplication in times tables and do it. Let me erase this stuff. Okay, now let's consider 14 times 16. Okay, here we multiply two-digit numbers, and we have to make sure that we have 1 at the tens place in both the two-digit numbers. Here we have 1, here we have 1. Okay, as I said earlier, we can choose one of these two-digit numbers. Let me choose 14. Now, consider the digit at ones place in the other number, that is 6. When I add 6 to this 14, it will become 14 positive 6 is 20. Now, we have to multiply this 20 by 10. That's easy. 20 times 10 is 200. Now, let's multiply the digits at ones places. 4 times 6, that is 24. When I add 224, that is equal to 224. So, 14 times 16 equals to 224. Here, I've done multiplication step by step. But we have to do this multiplication in our mind, that is mental math. Okay, now let's look at some other example. Let me consider the multiplication of 15 and 18. Here we multiply two-digit numbers. In both the two-digit numbers, we have 1 at the tens place. Okay, now let me consider the second two-digit number, that is 18. Let's consider the digit at ones place in the first two-digit number, that is 5. When I add 5 to this 18, it will become 23. When I multiply this 23 by 10, I am getting 213. Now let's multiply the digits at ones places. That is 5 times 8 is 40. 230 positive 40 equals to 270. So therefore, the product of 15 and 18 is 270. Okay, now let's do the other one. Okay, let me consider 16 times 19. Okay, here we can choose one of the given two-digit numbers. Let me select 16. Okay, here we have to consider the digit at ones place in the other two-digit number. This 9 should be added to this 16, then it will become 25. Now we have to multiply this 25 by 10. That is 25 times 10 is 250. Now let's multiply the digits at ones places. 6 times 9, that is 54. When I add 54 to this 250, is 304. So the product of 16 and 19 is 304. Okay, now let me consider the other example, that is 18 times 18. Okay, here both the two-digit numbers are same and we have 1 at the tens place in both the numbers. Okay, now let's select one of them. Let me take the first one, that is 18. Consider the digit at ones place in the other two-digit number, that is 8. When we add 8 to this 18, it will become 26. 26 times 10 is 260 and 8 times 8 is 64. Okay, now we have to add this 64 to this 260. Okay, I have already given you the idea. So what is the rounded figure close to this 260? That is 300. If I want to make this 260 as 300, how much do I need? I need 40. Just take 40 from this 64. When I take 40 from this 64, it will become 24. When I add that 40 to this 260, it will become 300. Then 324. I mean, additional 324 is 324. Okay, 18 times 18 is 324. Okay, now let's do the other examples without doing the proper steps on the board over here. Let me consider 17 times 15. Okay, now I'm not going to write the steps. Okay, let's consider one of the given two numbers. Let me choose the first one, 17. Let's take the digit at ones place in the other number. 17 positive 5, which is equal to 22. 22 times 10 is 220. Okay, now I have to keep this 220 in my mind. Now let's multiply 7 times 5. 7 times 5 is 35. Already we have 220. 220 and 35. That is equal to 255. So the product of 17 and 15 is 255. Okay, now let's do some other example. That is 16 times 18. Okay, now let's do it in mental math. Okay, let's choose one of the two numbers. Let me take 18. Take 6 the ones place. 18 positive 6 is 24. 24 times 10 is 240. 6 times 8 is 48. 240 positive 48 is 288. Okay, now let's consider some other stuff. That is 19 times 19. Okay, here let's consider one of the 19s. Let me take the first one. Consider the 9 at the ones place in the other two-digit number. 19 positive 9 is 28. 28 times 10 is 280. Okay, here we have to keep this 280 in our mind. And 9 times 9 is what? That is, we multiply the digits at ones places. 9 times 9, we know that 81. Okay, the same thing what I've explained in one of the previous examples. So we have to consider the rounded figure close to this 280. It is 300. If I want to make this 280 as 300, how much do I need? I need 20. Take this 20 from this 81, then it will become 61. When I add the 20 to this 280, it will become 300. Now add this 361, that is equal to 361. Okay, now let me erase this. Okay, let's do 19 times 17. Okay, now let's select one of the given two numbers. Let's take 17. Add this 9, the digit at ones place, to this 17. 17 positive 9 is 26. 26 times 10 is 260. And 9 times 7 is 63. 260 positive 63 is 323. Hello everyone, this is Ramachandran again. So far we have seen the classic way of multiplication to do times tables easily, and we have to do a lot of practice to master in this one. And also for more math content, keep watching our YouTube channel, and also to get math stuff like examples, concept, worksheets, please go to our website www.onlinemathforall.com. Thank you.